Hey, Gutfoxx here. So we got some MLB The Show stuff coming the next few days. I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how the BR change affects the market, what you want to look for there. We'll talk about my experience at 120 hertz. Just got a new monitor and kind of like how much it matters and stuff. I probably could have done a video on the 120 hertz alone, but, we'll get it together, okay? Maybe I'll do another one later down the road on it. I don't know. But anyways, as you see, Tuesday content, 517. We're getting a new Flawless, so new BR program. We'll talk about event with Hall of Fame difficulty when a headliner set 14 with legend pitches. All right, who are the cards coming? We are getting Mr. Cardinal Jim Edmonds. Now, Edmonds, you hear a lot of people say, oh, he's got a sweet swing for a lot of cards in the game. But Edmonds is definitely going to be one of those cards. His smaller card worked out well. His cards last 2 years. Last year, his cards were kind of underwhelming. He didn't really get a good early game card last year, and Jim Edmonds led by the late game. It's kind of outplayed by a lot of other guys. But 2 years ago, where he got a decent early game card, which this looks to be a 94 overall BR program reward, which I think is going to be, well beloved by the community. They just got to give him hopefully a decent enough speed for the outfield with reaction fielding to be there, and he's going to sock a lot of dingers. I think Jim Edmonds, one of my favorite guys, because of the way he elevates the ball from the left side of the plate. All right. We're also getting but Dante Bichette here isn't in the Moonshot event, or this isn't the Moonshot event. It is a 92. It's too bad that we're getting like a 92 in the event. I think maybe they give us lower overall cards because we get more events than we do BR program switch overs, so maybe that's why they're lower. Also, here's some MUT stuff. We're getting the headliner is Bruce Sutter. If you guys recall, like closing pitchers and relievers, they generally don't have a super high overall because how much stamina matters for relievers. So if like you look at other, we'll just go to my inventory and sort by other closing pitchers and stuff. If you look at other ones like Zach Britton, like his hits per nine is 121, which is just crazy. It's almost perfect. It is perfect once you parallel him all the way up. I guess it's technically only 120, but anyways, Zach Britton, phenomenal. So Bruce Sutter, he just generally doesn't have like the best pitch mix, but if you look at like the per nines and stuff, 94 overall, I think is going to have great per nines. He'll have good control. Britton himself's got 83, and he's only a 93 control right there. So probably should be a pretty decent card. We'll see what the stamina ends up being on the Bruce Sutter card for the Headliners pack. So should be an interesting card nonetheless. All right, let's talk about the BR program switching over and what that means. Now, I got a few games tonight I got to finish. I've just not been able to keep up with the BR program this year at all. We're 6-0 on this run, so I got to get to 9 wins to basically finish it off. But I want to talk about the low-end cards in these things. If you look at these cards in the low-end part of the promo right here, they've basically maxed out, right? They literally can't go any higher. So if you invest in these cards, and if you look at, like, say the marketplace, you see how the price, like, ignore the red line, the blue line, do you see how it was kind of like, right, I guess I was pointing to my screen, but you guys can't see that. Do you see how it's kind of like lowish here? Xbox has got a glitch where you can't see the prices on the other side of it. Sorry, way over there. Other side of the screen where PlayStation doesn't have that glitch. But anyways, you see it's right here, and then it goes up at the far end. So basically what this is showing to me and to a lot of people is maybe you want to buy these things early on in the program and sell them right away, and then sell them at the end. Now, I do have one of each personally just by doing the program myself and getting through it. But if you need one, yeah, you can go ahead and grab one. They might go down. SDS could re-release these cards. It makes sense that they would re-release the cards. The way that they've talked about these cards, the way they've, we've done event re-release cards this year for some crazy reason. So I personally would not be holding these since they're already selling. Most all of them are already selling at like just about max value, right? Buy now, you can put it up for $5K and you'll probably sell at that price. I would go ahead and sell since they literally won't get any better than right now. And like going forward in a lot of these things, it's probably worth grabbing them early on. The gold ones look like the early on isn't good as they're high. Then they go down. You can maybe try and grab a couple when they're down. You could speculate on these ones, but it's really the bronze and silver ones that we're talking about since it doesn't look like the gold ones are uncapped or if they hit their cap at all. So really not the same. The gold and silver bronze investments are a little bit different, but we'll see because people always adjust and the market always adjusts based off what we learn on certain BR programs. But there you go. The golds actually might go up once they're out of packs, just FYI, since they are not currently at the cap. So if you do want to speculate, if you got extra stubs and you want to make a risky choice, go ahead and grab one. It was probably a better idea to grab one, as you see, a week ago for a lot of these cards than it is today. So that is definitely an investment strategy. Not a bad idea if you're going to blitz through the program to sell off the gold cards right away, as those seem to stay high. And then, like, hang on to the silvers and bronzes and even potentially invest. Otherwise, the Santo card started high and then absolutely crashed, and it's kind of been around the same price for a little bit. Might be worth, if you really blitz through it in a day, depending on what you do, if you're going to do this or the event, get into it and then just get out of it. Same thing with the other high-end BR cards. Within a few days, as you see, let me actually get rid of my face right here. Actually, no, I'll just shoot up here. So within a few days, if you're selling these cards off, you're making bank, right? If you have a 12-0 ready to go, and then immediately they crash down within, like, 2 days, then they basically kind of just stay at that price as people start earning the program and just blitzing through it and just, generally just having fun with BR. So anyways, that is the strategy around BR. Let's talk about 120 hertz and how I've played with it. So I got a new monitor. It's like an LG 950 something or other. So it was kind of an expensive monitor. It's not one that I would like say it's a good for an everybody monitor. There's a lot cheaper monitors. It's just, I don't know. I saw it was the best reviewed monitor on some like website somewhere. I took somebody on the internet's advice and I just bought it. I'm like, why the heck not? But don't generally need to follow what I do since, I don't always make the greatest decisions. But I would recommend 120 hertz. I do think it is. In a game so focused on timing, every little bit helps, right? It definitely helps you a little bit. I got a monitor. I got a frame counter in the top corner, and it says 120 right now. You guys can't see it. I will say during different, like, I guess, cut scenes, it goes down a little bit. During loading times, it goes down a little bit, but those don't really matter. During gameplay, it's pretty much locked at 120. So it is really nice to have that at 120. It was strange because on the LG, I got, like, a fast and a faster setting. In like practice mode, if I go on faster, it's so much nicer. But it looks like on online, I didn't really notice as much between fast and faster. And faster has a lot of ghosting and stuff go on with it. So if you have an LG, let me know what your guys' experience on with that. But I basically made a list of things I wanted to talk about today. Let's talk. Let's go to this. Let me. Here. I wanna show you this. How do I do this a little bit better? I don't know. But anyways. I made a notepad of what matters for, like, if all cards are equal. Wait. In order the things that are important on cards, on your game, on hitting in the game, okay? In order things that are important for hitting in the game, these are the ones that they will think of. This is like, not counting the cards, like the cards being equal. All right. So here's in order of importance. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's experience / player skill is number one. By far, there is a decent skill gap in this game. You're going to hit better if you're better at hitting just overall, okay? So the number one thing you need to improve is just yourself. Whether you go to custom practice, where you just play the game a lot. Just if you play the game a lot, you're going to get better at the game. It's just as simple as that. You're earning like mental PXP every time you play this game on any difficulty level, anytime. It doesn't show up. It doesn't show, I got 50 PXP, but you'll recognize breaks, you'll recognize pitches, you'll get more experience against pitches, you just get better at the game. So that's the number one thing is player skill, okay? Now, going down in order, drugs. If you're on Adderall, you will hit a lot better. Okay, if you're taking some sort of like upper, like baseball players used to take greenies, like that, like there's a big scandal around that, and like it's just gonna help you. You could maybe sleep to help the sharpness of your mind, and that's how important it is, in my opinion, to how well you hit in this game. Age. If you're like, this is why at the top end competitive of this game, of like any shooter, the guys are retiring at age like 22. Age absolutely makes a huge difference in reaction time, and this game is based off reaction time. Now, like I said, like look at this is number 4. You can easily beat age with drugs. Barry Bonds showed it IRL. Like you can be 40 something in this game and still be some of the best players in the world. Okay, so drugs is definitely above age, and drugs can beat sleep at least for a little bit. I think the batting view is that important. Batting view right there, what you're hitting on. You generally want to be on a strike zone view, whether it's strike zone 1, strike zone 2, strike zone high, whatever you want. I think batting view really does matter for hitting, obviously. The bigger the ball coming in, the more you can recognize it, the more you can see it. Like batting view, also like if you're close to your monitor and stuff, but we'll talk about monitor in a second. All right, monitor is right after batting view. Monitor versus TV in game mode. So TV just on itself, probably not going to be great. It's probably going to spit out like 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second. Not that incredible because there's going to be a little bit of lag there. It doesn't really care. It cares about the quality of an image, not necessarily how fast it gets to your screen. the importance of a monitor, the importance of a TV in a game mode, and a lot of TVs have gotten a lot better. Their TVs have actually surpassed monitors a lot of time for quality. Now, for gaming, it might not be up there yet. I really haven't done a lot of analysis on that. I haven't really looked at a lot of articles. But generally, you want to go monitor for gaming. TVs have gotten better, so you definitely want to put your TV in game mode, as that's very important, okay? Very important. But I still think a monitor is probably a little bit better than that. So you do not want to be on a TV. You'll have a little bit more input lag, and it'll be very hard to hit fastballs, especially at higher difficulties. Then now I was debating between these two, which one I wanted higher or not. Controller lag. Not a lot of people talk about this. Controller lag. Controller. The original Xbox controller is trash. I got myself a PowerA. This is like, I've broken a lot of PowerAs, but you see how it's wired in? You want to get yourself a wired in. Oh, I should put Control Freaks on this list. I'll put Control Freaks right here. Control Freaks. We'll talk about that when I get to it. I can't believe I forgot about Control Freaks. Controller lag matters, right? The wireless PlayStation controller, it's a little bit laggier. That's why a lot of people say Xbox plays smoother. It's because the Xbox, at least the third-party controller, because you cannot use the regular Xbox controller that comes with the system. It's literally glitched. It's just awful pinpoint pitching with it. Controller lag matters. And then right here, do you see how long down this list it is? 120 hertz definitely matters, right? 30 hertz, like in the TV, that's almost like up there. And it's more important. 30 hertz or 30 frames per second, if that's what your monitor's putting out, TV's putting out, you're not going to play as well, just flat out, okay? So this all really does matter. How much it matters, every little bit helps, but that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Next up, Control Freaks for minimum movement. Now, I will say, I got Control Freaks last year, okay? And 2 years ago, my last year on PlayStation, I think in ranked seasons, I was like 42 and 4, maybe? 42 and 3? Something like that, okay? So it's 42 and 3 in my last year on PlayStation. Then Xbox came out, like, oh, I'll switch over to Xbox. I played too much other games on PlayStation. I think I played Madden there. So I switched over to Xbox. Last year on Xbox, I was like 44 and 4, but 3 of those 4 losses were all freeze out. So like, in that year, I wanted to switch to Xbox. I got these Control Freaks. And so like, my record didn't change one bit going to Xbox, adding Control Freaks at all, okay? So while they help, they didn't really show up in the final record for me. So I think they are important. They're really nice for micro movements if you have somebody pitching inside the zone. But most people hang out around the black, so like a lot of times I'm slamming the PCI anyways, even with Control Freaks. But they definitely will matter to help those minimum movements and stuff. I actually might move them above. I don't know. Is Control Freaks more important than controller lag and 120 hertz? They might be. But anyways, PCI settings / anchor I have down here. Anchor I might move higher, but like I don't use anchor at all, and I'm hitting okay. I don't really play the game at Legend, so people that play at Legend might need to anchor a little differently than me. PCI settings, I'm just talking about like the visual settings. Like when I talk about PCI settings, it's like, hey, does it look like Starfighter? It doesn't really matter, right? It's all about like personal preference for this stuff. Like I use Diamond Center, PCI, Starfighter. I don't use the outer, but you can use anything. You can even turn the PCI off, and it doesn't really matter. It's all personal preference. Just use something and keep using it. Get comfortable with it. Don't keep messing with it. That's my only solution to you. Don't keep messing with it. Next up, last thing is pitching view. A lot of people are like, hey, what pitching view is that? Does it matter? Yeah, I like pitching from behind the batter because I can kind of see the break and stuff like I'm hitting. But it really doesn't matter. Like, dude, I've seen Dimmu destroy Magunsky and pitch a gem pitching from behind the pitcher. And I'm like, Dimmu absolutely messed up Gunsky, and Gunsky really looked terrible at the plate trying to hit. And, Dimmu's just behind the pitcher like it's broadcast. So, I don't know. Pitching view is pitching view is pitching view. It's the bottom thing on the list for me. So, there, in my opinion, obviously, those are what matters for hitting in this game. At least that's kind of what I'm sticking with for now. I could be persuaded on a few of the ones to move them up and down. There you go with that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like it. Really helps with the channel. Subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow over at twitch.tv/Gutfoxx for the content. Otherwise, we'll have gameplay up here afterwards. Bye.